Arsenal 2, Sevilla 1. And what a result in the Champions League. Away to Sevilla was always going to be hard. And in the first half, it was very, very hard. But towards the end, once they got that goal, it was a different Arsenal team. They played with a pomp. They played with swag. They looked like they were going to really take it to Sevilla. But then an excellent header completely turned the tie on its head and had us worrying again. But Arsenal held out and claimed the win, which has put them top of the group and has to be seen as an excellent result. Steve, how you doing? What's your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, look, good. It's a good win. We needed to win against a team that's very well experienced in European football. A hostile atmosphere, unbelievable atmosphere. For the fans who must have gone that game, must have thought, wow, that was something special. We had to overcome that. I thought we started up pretty well, quieting the fans down. But once Seville sort of, at the beginning sort of looked good. But overall, they're a good team, mate.
They're a good team. Like if you look at, I was looking at their team before the game, and if you actually break it down, there's a lot of players in their team that have played in the Premier League and at decent teams. And there's also a lot of players in that team that were linked to some big clubs.
Ocampas,
the forward, the Moroccan forward.
And they got some good experience in there as well, haven't they?
Excellent. I thought he was excellent today. Strong, like just a really gritty player. Like he did well. It was a tough game, and I thought Arsenal did really well.
Yeah, we did. It was never going to be easy. A lot of fans dismissed it. I always thought this was going to be a tough group. I didn't think we was going to waltz through it like some was saying. And look, it was tough. They got experience. Ramos was there, Neves. Players who've done it. Been there, played in big finals before. So they're used to this. A lot of the Arsenal players was the first time for them. So to come out with a win. Look, it weren't all pretty. It weren't all great. There was a couple of performances I thought were very, very bad, and I'm going to call them out as later in the show. But overall, good performance. We sit at the top of the group now. We had to win that today, and we went and won it, and in a very difficult place. So you can't ask for more than that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Some really good performances in the end as well. What's he saying? Arteta's right. Toto says Arteta actually subbed Saka off. Is he feeling all right? I mean, there was. I think we were all wincing in that first half when we saw Saka go down, because for me it didn't look like that much of a bad. It didn't look like a bad challenge at all. I watched it over and over again. I was trying to see what happened, and I honestly think that maybe sort of went over a bit awkwardly, but it boils down to me to those niggling injuries again, because he was holding his Achilles, which is definitely a worry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, definitely, and he needs rest, and we need someone who can certainly give him that rest. I mean, look, we'll get to his performance, later on, but for me, he needs help. He needs to have a rest, and for me, we need someone, a right-sided forward. In the January transfer, and more than we do an actual centre forward, in my opinion, anyway. If we're going to spend big money, I'll spend big money on that, not on an Ivan Toney. Look, he needs help. It's worrying. We keep playing him, and as I say, I'll get to him more way he played in the game. What I thought anyway, but he needs some rest.
Let's start with the goalkeeper, David Raya, starting in goal today again.
Yeah. Look, I mean, he's obviously Arteta's number one. There's no ways about that. Whether he should or whether he shouldn't be is another question. I don't know. I just want whoever's in the sticks to perform well. Today from Raya, look, it was a bit of a mixed bag, wasn't it? You know, I thought he was doing well up until right until the end there, where he got that punch and it sort of went behind him in the end.
What that was. I couldn't
Yeah,
it out in my head. I was just trying to work out what actually happened, and I thought that when he's dived, and it's gone past him, and he's
yeah.
sort of the bar. And I was thinking, is that just some outrageous save? But it was more he's come to punch it out, and it's punched.
It's scum off his hand.
Oh
Yeah.
my word! It was worse. I thought it was a great save. In the end, it was like actually that was very lucky.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he did pull off a great save. You know, earlier on. I mean, he pushed it onto the bar. I mean, he wasn't to know that the geezer handled it and all that. You know, that was an absolute fantastic save. You know, if we analyse his distribution throughout the game, there was a time when I think one of the passes went astray a little bit.
Seville player,
yeah. But then there was other times where he played some good through balls and he played some good balls wide. It's a very mixed bag with Raya at the moment. Yeah, look,
you think he's feeling the pressure?
No, I don't think. I don't think he is. I don't think he is feeling the pressure. He doesn't look like he's feeling the pressure. When he does make a mistake, he does. He just seems to go on and get on and do as he's told. And you can see at times during the game, you know, why Arteta wants him to play that ball out. Because at times I was watching it. I mean, when it was working, you know, you can see that, you know, the way that Raya was playing it out to Saliba or Gabriel or someone, and then, you know, he was that sort of like fifth defender, if you like. It does help. It's just hoping time that it comes, because it does seem that he wants to stick with Raya. But I don't think he's feeling the pressure. He doesn't look like to me he's feeling the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're a goalkeeper like that and you've played in big games before, I don't know. I think if Arteta would have sussed him out there, and I think the goalkeeping coach knows him well. So I don't think he's that type. I think he's very strong character. He's one of these guys that if he makes a mistake, I just think it just brushes off him and he'll just go on until he gets it right. But yeah, look, I'll give him a 6 today.
Okay. All right, 6 for David Raya. We'll start off with Tomiyasu in for Zinchenko.
Outstanding, absolutely outstanding performance. Yeah, look, he was half decent going forward. I thought his defensive performance was brilliant.
Which we needed tonight. I don't think we needed we needed a free flowing attacking fullback in Zinchenko tonight. I think we would have been far too open.
Yeah, no, you know, I was looking at him tonight. He reminded me of like one of them samurai warriors. Do you know what I mean? You know, just like, come on. He gives you that. He's even got that face of like a samurai warrior. Do you know, if he had one of those swords across him, you know, and one of those white robes on, he'd look the part. You know, he's strong, he's big, he's a unit, and he don't get pushed off the ball. He's good in the air. His positioning's good, so good defensively. For me, he's given Arteta he's given him something to think about for Saturday, I think, anyway. Because Zinchenko's not been good since the start. He has not been good. Yeah, I can't fault Tomiyasu tonight. I thought he was absolutely outstanding in everything he did. So, yeah, I'm going to give him a 9.
9 for Tommy.
What did you think? Did you think he did well tonight?
I thought he was excellent tonight. I thought he was one of our best defenders, even right to the end. And he is getting forward, but in a different way. I think he's using his height and his strength as opposed to whipping in those balls.
Yeah, he's quick and all, isn't he? He's quick. He's not slow.
He is quick. Benjamin White.
Ben didn't have a lot really to do. I don't think. I think he was solid. Most of the stuff was coming down the Seville's right hand side with Tomiyasu. I don't remember too much happening from on Ben's side at all. Maybe late on in the game, once they knew that they wasn't getting the best, or maybe from second half onwards, early in the second half, they started to work Ben a little bit. But he was solid. He wasn't really getting forward. As I say, it wasn't a night for that. Not that Ben White's been getting forward that much this season anyway. But look, I mean, he was solid. He was solid. I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah, so it was a campus,
Yeah, he
and
dealt with him.
Rakitic probably, maybe a little bit of So, which would have been
Yeah.
Odegaard, Ben White,
Yeah.
and Jorginho would have had to deal with.
Yeah. No, he was good, Ben. He wasn't. Again, looking at the game. I don't remember him. He wasn't at fault for much, and he's solid every week. He's Mr. Consistency, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
I think the commentator, she said Ben White's underrated.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And these performances, Harry's not in the England squad. He can't get into 22 or 26. I mean, it's just a disgrace, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he won't be manager after this anyway for Southgate. So
he won't. William Saliba.
Yeah, I thought Saliba was very good again. Again, solid. No mistakes. Strong. Just he played the way that he had to play. Again, confident on the ball when he was on the ball. Some nice little turns. Sort of where he turned the player and turned it sort of like defence into attack. By like a little swivel and a little touch. He done that. It's his little bit of a trademark with William, isn't it? He does that a few times, and it looks so sweet when he does it. But for me, I'm going to give Saliba. I'm going to give him an 8.
Saliba an 8.
For the defence was very good tonight. Do you know what I mean? They're really good. Really good.
What are they saying here? Simon says that game opened my eyes massively and how important last season Granit was when he was next to Martin. I think we'll get onto him in a bit, but I think we should move on from those sorts of conversations because if we're being honest, Declan Rice has come in and he's doing an absolutely outstanding job. If not man of the match today, he was man of the match against Chelsea, man of the match in the previous game against Man City. He's a monster in there. Does he do something different stuff to Granit Xhaka? Yes, but this is his first season. He's only 11 games in.
Yeah,
you can't be missing players like that.
But
we move on. Gabriel.
Yeah, again, mate. Similar to Saliba. Again, not as fancy as William Saliba, but just as effective. In what he does. Strong in the tackle. No mistakes. I didn't think it was his fault. It wasn't his fault for the goal. The two centre backs wasn't to blame.
I don't understand why Gabriel Jesus was marking him though. That didn't make sense to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't just. They had two of them were on them, weren't there? There was two of them. You had Odegaard and Jesus, sort of like looking. It didn't. No, it don't. It didn't make no sense. But in the end, it never hurt us. So, but I mean, look, Gabriel was for me. He was immense, and since he's came back into the side, he's going from strength to strength. He's a bit of a mentality monster, our Gabriel. And again, it's a bit similar to Ben White. He just gets so underrated, but he was excellent tonight. I didn't think he put a foot wrong. And the Seville, forwards never got any change out of him whatsoever. The only way they really was going to affect us, I think, in the end, they was just lobbing it into the area and hoping that someone was going to get on the end of someone, which they actually did a few times. It just dropped in the right places, didn't it? A couple of times, and it caused us problems. So, and one of them got a goal. But no, Gabriel, again, I give him an 8. As I say, defence I thought was excellent tonight. I thought they were really good, especially in that type of atmosphere as well. Playing in that, it just went over their heads. Just got on with the job.
Jorginho.
I thought he was solid enough. He wasn't one of the. He didn't stand out. He obviously came in for Temo's party, who I don't know. I worry about Party. I really do. I mean, another muscle injury. I think maybe he should be looks to be moved on. In the summer, I think it's a shame. But anyway, on to Jorginho. I thought he had a good game. Thought he was solid. He played where, as I say, he played in the six, but he didn't do nothing of great note. But sometimes when you play in that six and you're not noticed, they're the times when you're having good games. Because you're playing in that position, and you're covering his centre backs, which he did well. He was picking the ball up from Raya a lot of the times and playing and starting off attacks. And just playing the ball to the right person at the right time. So again, solid from Jorginho tonight. Again, another player who's for me gets underrated. But Champions League games. I think I said before we kicked off the Champions League, little games that I wouldn't be surprised if Jorginho would be seen a lot, and I don't think he's let us down. So again, a 7, a 7.
7 for Jorginho. Declan Rice.
It's just but I just every week I'm running out of words for this bloke. I mean, he just no one could live with him in that midfield. He had it in his own. He was everywhere. He was helping out in defence. He was, some of the runs, bursting runs. He was running through the middle of the park. He's just unstoppable. His power. He's close. His ball control was excellent tonight. His passing is excellent. I just absolutely brilliant for me. He just missed a 90-minute. From 1 minute to 90, he's a machine. I love him. I absolutely love him, and he's worth every penny of that 105 million that we paid for him. Marks out of 10. Ooh, I'm gonna. I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. No, I'll give him a 9. 9. I'm gonna give him a 9. So I think he was integral to the win tonight. I just thought he was really good. 9.
What's he saying? The way Arsenal play this season, it doesn't benefit Martin because he has no one next to him in midfield. Last season, Granit would stick close to Martin, and he could do what he does best. I hear that because Declan Rice does shift to the left hand side, but we saw Kai Havertz come in and drift a little bit more to the right hand side today. So I wonder whether that was a conscious effort, considering in most games you've probably seen Havertz drift to the left. What else to say? Declan Rice is doing a fantastic job, but he isn't what Granit did last season. Declan is doing what Thomas Partey did last season in that position.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't think that
different
Declan Rice
players
is being a lot more forward. I don't see Declan Rice Declan Rice is not sitting in, and I don't see him doing that. I saw Jorginho do what Thomas Partey did last season, except for he wasn't maybe as effective as Thomas Partey. But Jorginho was the one who was sitting in. It was Declan Rice that was going off. How many times do we see Declan Rice tonight on the edge of their area or in and around their box, getting the ball working the ball with Martinelli down the left-hand side? So
that's what Xhaka was doing, weren't he? That's the type of thing Xhaka was doing last year.
I just think you've also got to understand Xhaka was at the club for 5-6 years. Declan Rice has only been there a couple of months. It's going to take time. You're expecting Declan Rice to do what Granit Xhaka has done, and Granit Xhaka to get to the level that he did in the end. Granit Xhaka took 4 years to do that. What's he saying? As the team, this is a Spanish team that frustrated a lot of clubs in Europe over the last 10 years. Arsenal's job was very professional. No, I 100% agree. It's a very tough team. Sevilla, yes, they're a Europa League team in terms of the pedigree, in terms of what they what they set out to achieve every year. But that's something that a lot of clubs couldn't do, even if they tried their best. Is to win that Europa League. It's a tough competition to win. Martin Odegaard.
Martin Odegaard. Was he playing tonight? Was he on the pitch? Did he do anything? Grandson asked me the other day. He said, "Who's your favourite Arsenal player?" I said, "Probably Martin Odegaard." For the last few weeks, I've been giving him an easy ride. I think it's time that we need to call him out a little bit. He was absolutely awful tonight. Awful, in my opinion. He was awful. For 35 minutes, I'd forgotten he was on the pitch. I don't think he touched the ball. I literally forgot that he was playing. That's how bad he was. I don't remember anything of note. I don't remember any work rate. I could, when he did get the ball, I thought, right, what are you going to do with it now, Martin? He gave it away, or he done a loose pass, or he was easily pushed off the ball on 2 or 3 occasions. Why he's not the same player? He's played good in some games this season. He's like how he did last season. But there's I don't know what it is at the moment. He's just lacking in a bit of form to me. And I thought he was the worst. I thought he was the worst player on the pitch.
But is it just that? And I know he's come under a lot of stick recently.
Unfairly stick. Unfairly. But tonight he was. Tonight he was. I mean, yeah, no, unfairly, mate. Totally unfairly, because he hasn't been like the last 3-4 games. He's been bad, not good at all. Yeah, and Tottenham is rubbish, and he hasn't been the player. But there has been times when he's been good. So it hasn't been the whole season. But he's getting to a point now where there's enough games to say, "Now hold on a minute, we've got to start looking into this and what's wrong," or you've got to. We know your quality. You need to start to buck up a little bit. Now, whether this is because of the change of system, or whether Xhaka's not there, I don't know. I don't think that is the case, because I think Martin Odegaard should be at least still showing more, even if it was taking time to get used to the system. Tonight, mate, he was bad. He was bad. He never did a thing. Never did a thing. I mean, he's getting a 3 for me. He never did anything, and it guts me to say it, because he's my favourite Arsenal player. But it's too many games now where it's been leading to this, and it's got to a point now where it's like, right, okay, now this is the worst. You get a bad game, you get a not a good game, you play all right, but then you have against Chelsea, where he was pretty much non-existent again, and again tonight, non-existent again. So I think we have to talk about it. He's a subject, maybe not for tonight, but Mikel Arteta's got to find a way as to getting more involved in the game if that's what it is. But yeah, he was terrible tonight. 3.
Yeah, he's very, very, very quiet tonight. Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, he was. I thought he was really good, Martinelli. He was good against. He was good against Chelsea. He was good against good tonight. Since he's come back from his injury, I thought he was a constant threat, constant danger. Again, similar to Chelsea, every time he gets the ball, you think something's gonna happen from it. He's gonna cause problems. He's gonna go round someone. You get excited when he's on the ball. He scored an absolute fantastic goal, a brilliant goal. To run that length of the pitch and to keep his nerve, and then to sort of slot it around the goalkeeper, composure. Yeah, you got it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant performance tonight from Martinelli, and it's got to be a 9 for me. And again, I keep saying in that type of atmosphere, in that hostile atmosphere, just player who just rolls, just lets it rolls off his back.
Yeah.
So for a player of that young, that's good. So yeah, definitely a 9 for me, mate.
All right, 9 from Steve. Okay. Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, I thought he was poor, mate. I thought he was poor. Again, he's again little bit similar to Odegaard. He wasn't as bad as Odegaard, but again, there was nothing from him. There was when he got the ball, it wasn't like when Martinelli got the ball. It wasn't like you thought something was going to happen. Again, you've seen it so many times recently. Saka's knackered, or he's tired, or there's something. Again, he hasn't been the same player. He was quite against. I mean, until he got that cross in, and again the weekend against Chelsea, which was great. Before then, he was poor. He wasn't good. And tonight again, he wasn't good. And when they took him off, there was nothing of note. He was jinking and jinking and jinking. He was getting fouled. The crosses that he was getting in were way over it. They was going everybody's head about 2 or 3 times, and there was no penetration from him. He never looked like scoring. He never got into the box. It was a real sort of like up and down performances from players tonight. And yeah, I mean, Odegaard and Saka, at times it was like Arsenal playing with 9 men. And those names, Saka and Odegaard, wow.
Yeah.
But again, 4, mate. I don't know what you thought of him, but 4.
I
it's
thought
not good enough.
I thought he was quiet, and when, like you said, when he got the ball, there was nothing of note. There was no. He wasn't very direct, and his crossing was poor. His crossing was way off tonight. Like his corners were way off, which is not usually that bad.
There was no penetration, was there? There's no penetration in the box. There was no.
But I don't feel like we've seen. I think later on we did. There was a couple of times, especially once we went 2-0 up, when we really looked like we were going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and get a few more goals. He was getting down that flank and trying to cut in and out and trying to jink and get in the box. And there was a couple of decent opportunities, but I also felt that there was a couple of times, whether it was coming from Saka's side or whether it was coming from another side, where the pass is on and they're just not making the pass. I think early doors, Saka was open for Jesus. Jesus took it the other way, went down to Martinelli. Martinelli tried to cross it, got blocked. And then the same thing happened from the other side. And then Declan Rice, an opportunity where he should have been put through. He wasn't put through. So I do think there is a little bit of cohesion missing. There is definitely something. Maybe, hopefully, by the time we get to Christmas, we'll be in a fully flying. But there is something. There is a little bit of fluidity still missing from this team. I think we've only seen it on a couple of occasions this season. I'd probably say one where we saw it in its full flow, which was against PSV. So yeah, I have full faith that it will come back. Gabriel Jesus, and this is one of the reasons that Gabriel Jesus is a player who many people have said need a number 9. The amount of times I saw while I was live today, need a proper striker. And I was just like, I don't like. Do you know why I don't like that term? Because I feel like it's demeaning and disrespectful to what Jesus does. Does he need to get in the box more? 100%. Does he come far too deep, far too often? Yes. We spoke about the other day. We don't want to see him at left back in the defensive midfielder position, winning tackles. We don't want to see that. But we also don't get that first goal if he's not Gabriel Jesus doing what Gabriel Jesus does. And that is turn in the middle of nowhere and an unbelievable through ball to Martinelli to put him through.
Yeah.
What I asked from him that I want to see more of is what he did on that second goal, which was top class, world class. And we know he can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I missed the Champions League, and he missed the Champions League. I'm with you. Well, we know we've spoken before that. I'm with you regarding the strikers. I don't think that Arsenal need need a replacement for Gabriel Jesus. I never have done. I've always been against it ever since the first person come out and said that we do so. We may need an upgrade on Eddie Nketiah. Yes, maybe, right? We may be, but you know, that's hard. Even if you're Man City, it's hard, you know, to go and get a striker and say, "Come sit on the bench."
Well,
You know, and
look what
that's
they've had to
even
do with
if
Alaves. Look what
exactly.
they've had
Well,
to do with him. He plays now. He weren't going to have another season of sitting on the bench and doing what he did last season and watching Harden score goals and him coming in and out. He was not going to do that. They've moved into the flanks now, and they always play as number 10 sometimes. Now that De Bruyne is out, but there was no way they were going to have, because if they had another season like he did last season, where he was majority of the time on the bench and he'd come in when they wanted to rest Haaland, he'd have been asking for I want to leave. I need to be playing first team week in, week out because he's good enough. So
100%. No, it's not easy. It's not easy, and you know tonight. You know, you see why he gives more he gives so much more than goals. You know, Gabriel Jesus. There's very few players like that around who gives what Gabriel Jesus does. You know, we need, like you already said, we need him to sort of do what he does in the final third, what he's, you know, the field, and for him not to sort of, like, mind you saying that, you know, what he did for the first goal was absolutely outstanding. And maybe that's why he does is told to drop deep sometimes, that he's good at holding up the ball and doing things like that. Because again, you know, you talk about the goal, which again, as you said, was incredible, was world class. That was world class as well, what he did there. Just you know, that little turn he did and to play Martinelli through. But look, I mean, I've never been on the bandwagon of that. Oh, we need Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney's not a better footballer than Gabriel Jesus, and there is no guarantee that Ivan Toney from Brentford, who come from Peterborough, is going to come in to the Premier League and win us a title. It's absolute tosh. You know, it's absolute
tosh.
What
people say about Ollie Watkins. Why is Ollie Watkins, who I watch week in, week out, miss sitters? Why is he going to be any better?
Rubbish. It's rubbish.
Yeah.
I've watched. We've watched football long enough. Yeah. We've watched football long enough. Yeah, look, all right. If someone said to me, "Oh, well, you're going to get Osterman," I'd go, "Hold on a minute. Yeah, we know this is the killer. That takes it to another level." But Ivan Toney. I mean, I don't know. I don't rate him as high as what, you know, others are rating him. You know, they think, we'll get Toney. He score what Ireland's going to score. He gets 30 goals a season.
Yeah, but
I'll get someone a £500 bet now.
What they're doing is they're going, okay, well, he scored this much with Brentford. Think how many more opportunities he would get with Arsenal. It doesn't work like that.
It don't work like that. So what's going to happen?
You would have to play Ivan Toney week in, week out, every single game. So where does Jesus fit in that? And that's what I mean. Ivan Toney leading our front line is not going to get the best out of Saka and Martinelli the same way as Jesus gets the best out of Saka.
And he needs to be fed. Toney needs to be fed.
Exactly.
He's not a striker who will come deep. So if he needs to be fed, then what you get then, you take away the goals from Martinelli, Saka, and Odegaard.
Yeah, of course.
You take away their goals. So whatever Toney's scoring, you're lessening your goals still from the players around you, because that's the way Arsenal play. We play a certain way where we score from the left and the right. If you look at Man City stats and Arsenal stats, right? Who scores more goals, Martinelli or Grealish?
Yeah.
Martin, who scores more goals, Saka or Mahrez or whoever else, Foden?
Yeah.
Saka. Yeah. There's a reason for that. That's because they've got a bloody 30 goal a season striker around the middle. But apparently, we need one when we scored 6 goals less when Jesus was out for 3.5 months of the season.
I know.
And we scored 6 goals less, but people just haven't got. Look,
we need a 20 goal season striker, because it was the easiest thing to say, though, Steve. It's the easiest thing to say is we need a 20 goal season striker at the end of a season. When we've scored the most goals we've scored in the Premier League last season, yet we need a 20 goal a season striker. It's 20 more goals is what we needed. No, it was not conceding 3 against Southampton. 2 against Liverpool,
Exactly.
2 against West Ham,
Exactly.
draw into Southampton earlier on in the season. Those are the
Exactly.
games. Those are the
Exactly.
games. Southampton took 5 points of us, 4 points of us last season. 4 points.
Yeah. What
Take
was
the
that?
points of a West Ham as well. Do you know what I mean? It's 7 points. There's your league. They're the differences. That's the difference.
That is a difference. I mean, and it's annoying. It's frustrating because it's not it's not like it's not rocket science. This one, do you know what I mean? It's just a little bit of 5 minutes to sit down and work it out. Because like Haaland, Haaland was this almighty goal scoring monster last season. The incredible Haaland was smashing all goal scoring records. Arsenal scored 6 less. 6. Why is that? Because Martinelli and Saka and Odegaard scored loads of goals. Yeah. Not because the Jesus ain't scoring 30 goals. Oh, mate. But Jesus was fantastic tonight. I mean, he's going to get a 9 out of 10. I just hope he's all right because of the, it looked like he took a knock. That's an hamstring and he's out for like another month. I mean, that's not good.
I hope it's precautionary. I hope it's precautionary. It would be fair to say that the drop in form of Saka and Odegaard is linked as they play in a triangle with White. And we are just not clicking the same as you said.
It's a good point.
I don't think, Galva, I don't think that White is getting down the flanks as much. I think we saw White getting down the flanks more a few weeks ago, and it was definitely more encouraging. I just think there's a lot of focus on how we played last season, and it's very hard for any team to mimic what they did the previous season when they were so good. Like, we're talking about Arsenal were like one of the most attractive teams to watch last season.
Yeah.
Sometimes more so than Man City. So to say we're not like we were last season, I mean, was it ever going to be like we were last season until we fully smashed last season, until we win the Premier League? Is it really going to be like last season, or are we going to have a happy medium of what it was like last season?
Yeah.
Right? It's still, we've overachieved last season. Let's get back to the progression stage where we're at. It's getting there. I do think there's a lot in fact, it's too much focus on last season, on it, if I'm honest. We are looking back when we need to look forward. We've changed our team. We've got a different midfielder in there. We haven't had the same midfield since last season. We've only put this is only the second game where we've started with Saka, Martinelli, and Jesus up front this season, and we're 11 games in. Like, so I do think we need to move on from talking about how we weren't this last season, weren't that last season. It's going to take a little bit of time. Declan Rice is not Granit Xhaka, he's a different player. Jorginho's not Thomas Partey. We're playing Havertz in the central midfield as well sometimes. It's going to be different. Just we're getting the results. That's the important thing. And we're getting the results away from home against Sevilla in the Champions League. That's massive. That is massive. I think the pulling the comeback against Chelsea, that was massive. That was the first time this season where it was like against all odds. A bit like last season where we had to really, really, really grind together and pull something together. Yeah, we did it against Fulham. That was different. 1-0 up, and then we lost it in the end. This was a 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go. No hope. It was over. We were terrible. We pulled it back. And gave us a bit of saying. Hopefully that helps us going forward, because I thought we would have had that going in after the Man City game.
I think the reason why the lack of fluidity ain't there. We just spoke about how the reason for last season was the reason why we sort of lost the title. We fell away was because of the defence, wasn't it? That's why we were saying. So when you think about it, Ben White's not getting us forward as much like this season so far. So it seems to me that Arteta's definitely told him that, because it stands out a mile. So maybe he obviously wants Ben White, to be more defensive than he was last season instead of like gung ho. Because there was a couple of times where we got caught out and Ben White's up the pitch. If he's not up the pitch, then you're going to be tighter defensively. If you're going to play out from the back and roll it out to Raya's going to continuously play it out to Saliba or Gabriel, Jorginho or whoever, right? You're going to keep possession at the back and you're going to build up slowly from the back. knocking it around, playing it around, playing. So the fluidity of the long ball right up to Saka and Martinelli isn't going to be there, is it? But what is going to be there, hopefully in the long run, is that we are going to let you concede less goals, but still be unbeaten and put them in at the other end. And that has happened. Really, I mean, people don't like the fact that we're not as fluid, right? But who cares if we're still as effective? Yeah. Who cares? Who cares? That seems to be what Arteta wants to do. He wants that, and that's why the goalkeeper changes. He doesn't want long balls kicked. He wants short pass, keeping possession. But when you're doing that from the back, it's not as pretty, is it, as bombing up or up the other end. So yeah, there's. I don't think you're going to see the fluidity of last season, because I think we are going to be playing a different way, a more slower build up. But if it's effective, who cares?
Yeah, I agree. Let's get on to the final players. Who came on? Havertz.
Yeah, Havertz. Yeah, he just come in, filled the space really this time, didn't he? He was just nothing major from Havertz this time. Just solid. Just give him a 5, just a subs 5.
Okay, Eddie. I think he was only on it for a short time as well.
Yeah, again, Eddie, very short 5. Not in height. Sorry, Eddie. I know you're not very short.
Trossard.
Yeah, I thought he looked a little bit more dynamic. He was getting more involved when he came on. His corners were night and day to Saka's, weren't they?
Yeah.
At least they were going into the box. Do you know what I mean? Causing a few problems, and yeah, it was a nice little run he did at one point as well, where I think he beat about 3 Seville players, and eventually I thought he was going to lose it at one point, but he stuck his toe in and laid it off. That was good to see from him. So he made quite an impression when he came on. So yeah, I'll give him Trossard a 6. Seems to be coming back into a bit of form lately, Trossard. So yeah, it's good.
It's funny what a goal does and a bit of confidence does. I think.
Yeah, it's like Jesus before that little move. Where he done that ball through to Martinelli. Jesus didn't do much. He wasn't nothing. But as soon as he did that, he was like had a new lease of life. He was a different player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Mikel Arteta.
Yeah. The team. Yeah. Look, the team was fair enough. I think we said on the Arsenal show, I wouldn't be surprised if Tomiyasu came in especially after Zinchenko's performance against Chelsea, where he wasn't up to standards. He was very sort of like what's the word, coy in his answer when he was asked why Zinchenko wasn't playing, and he said that he's just played a lot of games recently. I don't think it was that. I think because he had a nightmare recently. So Tomiyasu come in and was probably, you could argue that he was man in the match. Tomiyasu, he was certainly up there with the best players on the pitch. So yeah, Jorginho come in, done a job. It was a good performance, and it's an away win. So I'll give him a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Mikel Arteta. Big victory in the Champions League before they go back to the Premier League on Saturday against Sheffield United, followed by a Wednesday EFL Trophy game against West Ham. The games are coming thick and fast. It's time to start rotating those players and it's time for some of those players that are on the fringes to sort of make a name for themselves, especially with the EFL Cup coming up against tough opposition in West Ham. And I'd hope that he would maybe do a little bit of rotation against Sheffield United at home. It's got to be a win. maybe we'll see Saka rested. I very much
Yeah,
doubt
I think he needs it. Yeah,
I doubt it.
It'd be great to see Neto come in.
I mean, yeah, it would, but again, I just don't see it.
Not January.
Nah, I don't see it. I just don't see it. And Osimhen, that's a summer signing.
It is a summer signing, yeah. Yeah,
all right.
That's a summer.
Thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight in the comment section. Absolutely buzzing tonight. Love that. Simon, the Real Pensions, Real Poison Super 8, and Galvo and Arteta's Right Toe as well. Some new names in there. Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate.
All right, make sure you join us on Saturday for the post-match reaction of the Sheffield United game, and followed by the Arsenal show on Tuesday and the post-match reaction of Arsenal's game against West Ham in the EFL Trophy on Wednesday. Hopefully, there's a decent stream somewhere, because last time they didn't play it, did they? They played it. You can only find it in France and some dodgy channels, but it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Nice one, Galvo. Thanks for the support there. Peace out, people. Stay
Cheers,
safe,
mate.
and wash your hands.